Back with the details, Brett, and covering a Chiefs close victory. Seems like that's kind of the first thing of the week, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I know Nick Bolton got a lot of headlines, rightfully so, for the fourth down play, but the Chiefs made 3 big stops late. And Brett, I think you want to highlight some of these guys that we do need to highlight because there was more than just Nick Bolton going on in these 3 important plays.
Yeah, the red zone defense. I mean, they gave up yardage, but when they had to have stops on 3rd and 4th down, they got it done through both scheme and execution, as we'll see.
Yeah, let's start with this 4th and 5 play. This is the possession before the last one for the Falcons. And I think the thing we're going to start with is the Chiefs kind of show up top here, a little bit of a bracket look on Kyle Pitts, but instead late we see Tranquill coming on. So the Chiefs are bringing a lot of pressure. They're bringing some heat.
Right. So, yeah, that showing that bracket look pre-snap, I think Cousins looked out there and saw that, okay, we're getting doubled here. They're going to double our 6'6", 6'7" tight end here. So the fade ball, you see he'll run a fade. So he kind of cancels that. You see him look back a little bit. I don't know if he's, looking to that side of the field or seeing it, but basically it takes it away pre-snap with the look they're showing.
Yeah, we can count the numbers here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 for the Chiefs. And then the Falcons got 5 and 6 here to block. So the Chiefs are bringing a lot, which means you're going to have single coverage here, putting a lot of pressure on your defensive backs.
So, yeah, cover 0. The 2 corners are going to be manned up, and then a little bit of match technique there by the safeties over number 2 and number 3. Basically, they're going to just play kind of 2 for 2. And as you pointed out, the leverage that they're playing with there, that they're looking to, basically just pick up the most dangerous and allow the pressure to get home.
Yeah, so a couple of things here, Brett. We talked about the leverage, and I talked to Brian Cook here in the locker room. He said he's looking to try to take away the slant and the quick, easy throws right away. You kind of see this, but you talk about the leverage. He's kind of playing on the inside of him here. It makes you think, like you talked about, the Chiefs play so much man-match coverage that he's probably taking the first guy that comes inside. So if these 2 receivers slip, they probably are going to do that. And then McDuffie has the outside leverage here, so he's able to defend a guy if he comes that way. So it looks like that's the way they're playing it, but he at least told me in the locker room, Brian Cook did that. He was trying to take away the slant here, kind of like the previous play he had where he almost got called for pass interference. But because the pressure gets there, because you got Kirk Cousins back here throwing off of his back foot, it makes this a difficult throw. And obviously the Falcons can't come through with it.
Right. And in these situations, you want to take away the underneath stuff, as you pointed out, take away the slants and force, these back line throws where the quarterback, particularly here with pressure, has to put that up and throw a ball on target to the back line. The receiver's got to make a play, kind of like they did. I think the snap before this was the one where, a lot of people felt like it was pass interference there to Pitts, but you're forcing the offense to do something pretty difficult, and that's make that throw on that back line.
Yeah, you see this back foot throw here. And even Cook said something a little bit about he saw his guy dancing a little bit. You can kind of see London here. It takes him a little while to kind of get into this and get out of it. I think once that happened, Brian Cook felt pretty good about his possibilities here, just because once that dance happens, it's going to be a tougher throw because Kirk Cousins is going to have to hold the ball a little bit longer.
Right.
Hoping that they could beat the Chiefs to the inside, not able to do it on that particular play. Let's go ahead and get to the 3rd one play. Brett, I know you want to highlight a couple Chiefs here, a couple Chiefs not named Nick Bolton. Let's start with Chris Jones here and what he does on this play.
So he obviously is going to be defending this B gap here, and he's going to, as we'll see late in the play, he's going to work back across the face of that guard to basically cap a gap that could have been a cutback lane right there. I'm sorry, that's he's going to work back across the tackle and get in that B gap there. As you can see, if he doesn't work back inside there, then I think that's Tyler Algier is able to press that ball in that gap right there and probably pick up the first down and get a fresh set of downs going in.
Yeah, so we see so that's a big play there from Chris Jones. Again, we talk about kind of muddying the waters here a little bit, making this read not as obvious for Tyler. But the one person you want to highlight here, Brett, I know, is Drue Tranquill. Talk me through what 23 does on this particular play.
So he reads it, he plugs, and what's extremely impressive here is he's given up, 60 pounds, I'm guessing.
I actually looked it up. I looked it up, Brett. You ready? Are you ready for the numbers?
Yeah.
6'5", 323.
Okay.
And then we've got Drue Tranquill at 6'2", and I believe it was 234 4. So if my math is right, we're going with 89
pounds.
pounds. Watch what 89 pounds looks. I mean, that would not be a fair fight in wrestling, boxing, whatever. You're not taking the 89-pound less guy here, but you got to watch what he does on this play, right?
Really impressive. So he reads it, he plugs, he gets in his assigned gap, and then he just strikes and extends and pushes that guy back and makes the tackle right there at the line of scrimmage. I mean, that is awesome.
You want to get a football coach fired up. What 23 does here gets a football coach fired up, right?
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. I mean, that's just physical there at the point of attack. And then really, as a whole team standpoint, you can see the line of scrimmage. They're not allowing the line of scrimmage to move. They're basically creating, they're capping those gaps right on the line of scrimmage, not allowing any movement. That makes it very muddy there for the back. And then, of course, watching him just, strike and extend there and make the tackle. That is a really, really good play.
Worth noting that the Falcons were down 2 linemen. This was not one of them. This was one of their
Right.
stars. The other thing it reminds me of, Brett, is, we go to training camp. They always go to the sleds. And I'm thinking, when is this applicable in a game? This looks like a sled drill right here a little bit. Is that kind of what you experienced in your coaching days?
Yeah, no, absolutely. They're working the strike and the extension and then being able to shed. So there you see it play out in a very, very important situation.
Which brings us to the final play here, Brett, the 4th and 1. Obviously, we're all going to talk about Nick Bolton, what he's able to do on this play, but he got lots of help from teammates. Starting off with, though, we see Kirk Cousins. You pointed this out. He's checking here. You've got different guys for the Falcons that are later going to kind of say, hey, I got the check. I'm going to talk to you. I'm going to kind of get this play call settled here. But what is Kirk Cousins seeing from the Chiefs, and what is he trying to get into for them to get them an ideal play here?
So the Chiefs are in what I've referred to as a gaps defense. I've heard that referred to by multiple people, and that just means there are guys on the line of scrimmage in each gap. And I'm guessing the Falcons either had a quarterback sneak or some sort of interior run called. And obviously the way the Chiefs are aligned, they're in position to best stop that, have a chance with their alignment.
So instead, they got this outside run coming, but a lot of guys to highlight here. Let's start with a couple guys you talked about, Mike Dana and Leo Chanel. Talk me through what they're able to do on this play.
They're able to – so they're going to check to wide zone or outside zone lead, where 25 is going to lead. Bijan Robinson's going to carry the ball. And the first thing you got to do with wide zone is you got to set the edge, which Watson does a really good job of, which we'll see. And then you got to knock it back. And Cook, Chanel, and Dana knock it back. And it makes it very cloudy for the lead back, who's responsible for Nick Bolton, as we'll see.
Yeah, so I think one thing to point out here, ball here is around the 13-yard line. Yep. When this play starts out here, where these guys are at, once this thing starts going, are at the 16. Right. That's a big deal, right?
It's a big deal. Yeah, you're not running the wide zone if you're giving up penetration like that. I mean, it's just dead in the water.
Look at all these guys here, and then, like you said, holding the edge on the outside. She's able to do that. I do want to bring him back just a moment here, because
not to cut you off there, but you talked about the tail of the tape last time. These are 250-plus pound tight ends that they've got. They got a 4-man surface. They got a tight end and a wing, and that's a corner and a safety there that are setting the edge and knocking that back, or at least creating a stalemate.
But a couple years ago, when they added guys like Justin Reed, I think they wanted to bring some physicality back to the defense to help stop the run game. This is physicality in the run game, to be able to hold your own on the outside here. And I think the other thing we want to point out here, Brett, is you talked about his job, Algier, is to come out here and block Bolton. It's a little more difficult when these guys are in the backfield and clouding your vision. You talked about the little cloudy day you got going on here. You can't see them. You can't see them because of how far these guys are moving back the line of scrimmage. It's a lot more difficult for this running back to come out here and do his job.
Yeah, it sure is. I mean, if he's able to redirect and at least engage Bolton, I mean, there's a decent chance that Robinson's a good enough player. He's able to get that yard needed. But as we said, when you reset the line of scrimmage back 3 yards, it makes everybody's job very difficult, both the runner and the lead back.
Final thoughts here about the red zone defense for the Chiefs, Brett. Overall, what did you see from them on Sunday night?
a lot of the same, themes that we've talked about when we covered defense before. Just number one, it's good scheme. Number two, it's good execution, and a lot of, as you said, unsung heroes, people that, aren't necessarily stars on the team. It's not Chris Jones every time. It's not, McDuffie. We're seeing guys like Mike Dana, Leo Chenal, Cook, Watson there, just doing a good job of executing fundamentals, being physical, and allowing other guys to come in and make those plays. And without that, it's not happening.
And finally, I want you to describe Drue Tranquill in 3 words, what he does on this play.
Man, you're putting me on the spot here. You're the journalist, man. You got to come up with the words. I need your help with this. I can just watch it. I'm just going to put this on repeat.
Excelente. There you go.
How about I got 2 words. It's triple extension. When these guys power clean and the triple extension with the ankles, the hips, all that. I mean, that's what that is. He's just exploding with the triple extension and knocking that guy back. So you can throw in one more word on that, and we'll have our 3.
Great triple extension. We will leave it at that with Drue Tranquill and the Chiefs, but a super impressive play from him, helping save the game, just like Nick Bolton did for the Chiefs at the linebacker position.